Salt has become one of the most debated nutrition topics, with public health campaigns urging people to cut back sharply, while newer research suggests that sodium needs may not be as one-size-fits-all as once believed. While excess sodium from processed foods is strongly linked to high blood pressure and cardiovascular strain, moderate salt intake within a balanced diet, especially when paired with potassium-rich foods, can support fluid balance, exercise performance, and even enjoyment of meals. The smartest approach is focusing less on fear and more on quality, reducing hidden sodium from ultra-processed foods while using reasonable amounts of salt when cooking at home. Salt occupies a unique place in nutrition science. For decades, the message has been simple and loud: eat less. Public health recommendations commonly set the target at 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day or less, and major campaigns have warned that excess sodium sharply increases the risk of hypertension and heart disease. That message came from a real concern. Many people consume far more than they realize, often double or triple recommended amounts, mostly from packaged and restaurant foods loaded with sodium for preservation and flavor. But in recent years, the conversation around salt has become more nuanced. New studies suggest that risk does not increase linearly and that there may be a broad middle zone of safe intake rather than a strict low limit for everyone. Some research indicates that extremely low sodium intake may negatively affect hormonal and cardiovascular balance, potentially raising stress hormones like renin and aldosterone or leading to poorer exercise tolerance. The takeaway isn't that we should abandon salt guidelines, but that individual needs vary far more than previously assumed. The biggest distinction dietitians make is between salt used in home cooking and salt hidden in industrial foods. When people cook at home, they typically add around 10 to 15% of their total salt intake from the shaker or seasoning, a level that rarely causes problems. Most sodium exposure actually comes from foods like deli meats, canned soups, frozen meals, fast food, breads, sauces, and flavored snacks. Someone who avoids adding salt may still consume large amounts without realizing it. Conversely, a home-cooked meal seasoned with sea salt or herbs can be far lower in sodium while tasting better and supporting healthier habits overall. Many people feel confused because recommendations seem to conflict. One headline warns that salt is deadly, another suggests that cutting too much is dangerous. The reality is that context matters. People with high blood pressure, kidney disease, salt sensitivity, or certain cardiovascular conditions should absolutely pay attention to sodium intake and may benefit from structured reduction. Reducing sodium in processed foods can lower blood pressure and improve heart health in meaningful ways. Yet highly active individuals, athletes, people who sweat heavily or live in hot climates may need more sodium to maintain hydration, prevent muscle cramps, and support performance. Another encouraging part of the conversation is the role of potassium. Traditional diets rich in vegetables, fruit, beans, and whole foods naturally balance sodium with potassium, which supports heart rhythm, nerve function, and fluid balance. Instead of focusing solely on restriction, boosting potassium-rich foods like bananas, potatoes, leafy greens, beans, citrus, yogurt, and avocados can help counteract sodium's effects and improve blood pressure naturally. That approach feels positive and empowering rather than limiting. Learning to spot hidden sodium is a practical skill. Nutrition labels list sodium in milligrams, and foods with more than 20% of the daily value per serving tend to be high. Words like seasoned, smoked, cured, or instant often signal heavy salt use. Rinsing canned beans or vegetables can cut sodium by up to 40%. Choosing low-sodium broth, soups, and sauces is an easy upgrade. Swapping one processed meal a day for something fresh can make a big difference without sacrificing enjoyment. The most balanced view of salt isn't extreme or fearful, it's mindful. Instead of eliminating salt completely, aim to cook more often, choose whole foods, season intelligently, and pay attention to how your body responds. A pinch of salt can elevate flavors and help people eat more vegetables, lean proteins, and nutrient-dense meals. And when taste buds adjust to a less salty baseline, subtle seasonings become more satisfying. Salt isn't the enemy. Excess from heavily processed foods is. Moderate salt use thoughtfully, combined with a colorful diet rich in potassium and fiber, supports a healthier cardiovascular system and makes food more enjoyable. The best path is personal and flexible, not a strict rule, but an informed, confident balance. In the end, The real question isn't how little salt can we survive on, but rather, how can we build eating habits that protect long-term health and still make food delicious? When we shift from restriction to smart choices, nutrition becomes clearer and far more satisfying.